right here at News Talk 93 FM. It's indeed Monday, May 19th, 2025. We're coming to you live from the studios of News Talk 93 FM, right here at UWI Mona campus in the parish of St. Andrew, Jamaica. The numbers to call are 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. And you can also call us and WhatsApp and those numbers as well. And indeed, we prefer for you to send your WhatsApp message and 594-7045. That's 876-594-7045. That's 7045. All right. To listen to us on your smartphones and device, please go to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the News Talk 93 FM app and take us with you as your daily companion. We also stream live via www.newstalk93fm.net. Go follow us on the various outfit, as it's indeed a Monday. So we have lots of offering here. We're simulcasting with our friends at Fit FM. Fit FM, that's 96.7 on the FM band, and you can follow them at fitfmja.com. Also, we simulcast with our friends at Caribbean Vibe Radio and indeed the Wayne Hall Network. We're also up on the Make We Talk YouTube channel and indeed the Conrod O'Brien Facebook page. We'll be on the Conrod O'Brien Facebook page just for my opening commentary here. And indeed, we are also, for the duration of the program, we'll be up on the Conrod OB TikTok page. So I'm going to invite you all to head on over there to tune in. And of course, we take your calls at 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. I know I'm repeating the numbers, but that's for emphasis. All right? To advertise with us, please call our sales agent at 876-427-9955. You can also send us an email at our sales department at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com. And indeed, we'll be able to tailor-made a special package for your budget and to accommodate your business, both by way of size and the service you offer. So give us a call and let's see how best we can assist you in basically showcasing what you have on your shelf or the service that you're putting out there right here. And the place to be your mid-morning number one fix with yours truly, Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. Where are we going with the program this morning? Coming up momentarily will be Conrad's Take. And at 10:10 this morning, our spotlight guest will be none other than attorney at law, Christopher Henry. He will be joining us in the hot seat as we have some things to talk to him about in that constituency of North Central St. Andrew, now represented by Carl Samoda from 1980 until now. And we have been tracking the news and we saw what has been happening there over the week. So we will delve into that and more as it relates to that North Central St. Andrew constituency. All right, so stick and stay with us for that discussion. And at 11:10, a very, very interesting discussion we'll have at 11:10 with attorney at law and former FBI agent, no broadcaster, and investigative journalist, Wilfred Rattigan. He will be joining us at 11:10 because certainly has been busy filing ATIs, to get information from government agencies, and indeed we'll be zeroing on this one this morning as it relates to how we are disposing of medical waste here in Jamaica. There are some concerns there, so we'll be talking to attorney at law Wilfred Rattigan on that. So stick and stay with me for this morning for your mid-morning number one fix right here on radio. We go up until 12 midday. Indeed, it is that time of the morning that time of the morning when we welcome you to Conrod's Take, another edition of Conrod's Take, my editorial piece. And this morning, I want to look at a few things. As time permit me. Of course, I'm guided by the time here. And let's start with the whole business of what transpired in the court last week. Well, let's back up a bit. This government of Jamaica, led by Andrew Michael Holness, have been getting a lot of black eyes as it relates to constitutional matters. One would remember early in the piece when Mr. Holness had his senators sign undated letter, and that was basically taken to the court and challenged by even his own Tufton and I think former Senator Williams, because they felt that they were hard done by way of those letters that they were asked to sign. That was taken to the court, and certainly the Constitutional Court ruled against Mr. Holness doing so. And since then, it has been a downhill scenario for Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party administration. And it begs the question as to the kind of advice that the government is given by the AG, the Attorney General, first there by Marlene Malahoo Fort and then by Dr. McCoy. Also, one would expect that with senior attorney at law in the cabinet, in the government, such as the Justice Minister, Delroy Chuck et al., they would have been there, although we understand that the chief legal officer for the government or advisor for the government is the Attorney General. But one would expect that, you're working as a joined up government, so, you would kind of bounce things off and so on in order to come out with the best advice, so you would not look so bad coming out of the court over and over and over again. So, last week, we saw where coming out of the court as it relates to the SOE, the state of emergencies, that the government of Jamaica, this JLP government, was warned against, that continue to deal with the state of emergency in the way that they have been going about it from 2019 through to 2023, it's the wrong way of doing it. And, the opposition went along with some of the state of emergency, even though they had concerns there from way back when Dr. Phillips was the opposition leader. But they said, listen, they were giving the government a quote-unquote pass on it, but although they expressed their concern there. However, under the auspices of Mark Jefferson Golden as opposition leader and president of the People's National Party, the PNP drew a line in the sand to say, no, we're not going to continue to support those SOEs because it's breaching the human rights of all citizens in Jamaica, or under the cloud, or under the rubric rather of their constitutional rights being breached, because you can just basically suspend all the rights that people have under a state of emergency, and people were able to were be detained left, right, and center. As a matter of fact, we saw where a lot of young men from inner city communities and so on, young men who was just going out to make a living and so on, they were carted off to the jailhouse, and indeed the opposition through its general secretary. Well, before we get there, when the opposition stopped supporting the state of emergency, what the government did was to resort to using the 14 days that they have legally to call a state of emergency. However, what they would do is allow the state of emergency to go for 13 days, and thereafter, the 14 day now, they would basically reimpose another curfew to basically subvert the whole process and basically go around the opposition or go around the constitution, as it were. Now, those have been deemed unconstitutional by the court, and certainly Dayton Campbell and the PNP came out with a massive victory last week. The government served notice that they will be appealing, but of course we heard from legal luminaries, including Dr. Lloyd Barnett, who is the guru on the Constitution here in Jamaica, and others said, listen, they believe that it would be something in futility because it will not bear any fruits, as it were. So what we have now and what Jamaican state is open to is a lot of lawsuits, because all those persons who were arrested under the state of emergency now can bring an action against the government of Jamaica. And certainly, of course, those bills will have to be foot by us, the taxpayers of Jamaica, because Andrew Holness or any member of government doesn't go in their pocket and pay for these things. And that is why it behoves government to tread very, very careful. All right? So once again, in my view, well, not in my view, once again, we have seen the government being black-eyed. I heard commentators weighing in on this, and even my good friend Jermaine Barrett weighed in on it. I heard him elsewhere weighed in on it, saying that he doesn't believe that this latest judgment will hurt the government going into the general election. I beg to differ. And I will posit reason. Now, a lot of young men, and maybe in odd case women, maybe, have been abused under this those illegal state of emergencies. And it is expected that those young people will be encouraging their peers themselves to rally against this government. It was as a result of those state of emergencies that would have caused people to have lost their businesses, because they had to close their doors, and as a result of that, their business went into bankruptcy. So when you factor all of those things into the equation, then I am positing the view that this must have some level of implication on the governing Jamaica Labour Party going into the general election. But these things are like pregnancy. It's coming, not going. The man who have the gift in his hand to call the election is Andrew Michael Roddenberry Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Therefore, we await that date, and we all will be wedded and glued to whatever space we're in, awaiting the results on that fateful day, whenever it is. We saw the PNP out there trumping at the bit and asking, call it, Andrew, call it, because they are buoyed and they feel as if the people of Jamaica is certainly ready for the People's National Party and Mark Jefferson Golden, the man Marky G, as I dubbed him. And indeed, we all will see how that goes. From my own consultation, my own feeling out there on the road, on the ground, I'm getting the impression that the people have turned their back on the wholeness and the wholeness-led administration. So, again, we'll wait to have the result by way of the people inking their fingers there and, deliver either way. But I can tell you that what I'm feeling, I'm having the feel, an even more overwhelming feeling than 2012, when the then Portia Simpson-led PNP eked out a clear 2/3 majority, 21 or 42 to 21, up against the Jamaica Labour Party. And as I keep on reminding you here, that going into that election, it was when the then treasurer of the Jamaica Labour Party, one Darrell Vaz, said that the JLP has never been more awash with money going into a general election. And the people deliver for the PNP that had much less money than the JLP. So when the people of Jamaica make up their mind and decide that, listen, they're going to speak with their fingers, then certainly there's no stopping them. Also, continuing along the political trajectory, there's a seat down there in Southwest St. Anne, now represented by Xavier Main. The challenger there is young Danishka Williams. And we saw her doing a lot of heavy lifting. Yesterday, she had a divisional conference in the Boroughbridge division. And indeed, we saw where scores, hundreds of thousands and thousands of people turn out there. And it seems as if Xavier Main is indeed under serious pressure. An individual that we normally share a good relationship, I won't mention his name here. He has been so aggressive to me within recent time because I dare to comment on this constituency. But it's par for the course. I hold nothing against him. But that seat is shaping up to be a very dynamic one. Quickly, we're also looking at North Central, St. Andrew, now represented by Carl Samuda. Challenger there is Christopher. We're up on break. All right, well, let's go to the break. That's Conrod's take. We will finish as we go along. Time come now. Time come.
%300 pay raise for MPs.
The truth is you get the quality of governance that you elect. And every government is afraid to touch it because if you touch it, people say you don't deserve it. Why we should pay you more and the country not running well? The country not running well because of that very reason.
Public work has been waiting years for theirs.
I mean, we've done our homework. So I'd have known that these salaries
you don't want me to share with the public.
Put parliamentarians and ministers in Jamaica higher than any other country in the Caribbean
region.
You're trying
to stop me from sharing.
No, I'm not.
They say choose Jamaica, but it's clear they've been choosing themselves for nearly a decade. The PNP believes in a fair deal for our public sector workers. We choose you.
Jamaica, vote power, don't vote for Labour, they don't care about poor people, they make we suffer. Jamaica, vote for power, how could we care, so we're voting
our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half-truths and trick you into voting for them, and then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
100 days. The fixed election date, still I wait for the promise to fulfill. One broken promise after another. Laughable, as we say. None of your promise not fulfill yet, boss. So there you wait.
Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament. All ministers under the new Jamaica Labour Party government will be given a job letter. That job letter has a timeline of 2 years and 6 months with key performance targets which are agreed upon by the cabinet, focused on two things: economic growth and job creation.
Andrew, you need to do what you said from 2016. You say you're going to put it on paper. Say anything you put on paper, the MP have to work with it. So you need to do it now. Because I feel like say when you do that, the MP will do them work and we will see work done in the community.
Within the first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to introduce term limits on the office of Prime Minister.
Andrew Holness, John, him break him promise and nothing him say I'm going to do for the next 100 days and now him not do nothing. Him not keep no promise and him say I'm the promise keeper. What a promise, John Star.
At a convenient time within our new government, we will hold a grand referendum on the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, as the final appellate court.
You make so much promise for us. Look how long you're in there. Nothing done. All for the COVID. They promised the people them $25,000. Nothing done. Huh? So what you expect me to do? Tell me if you sleep with the door and window open and nothing done.
The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens.
It's Monday.
Can't afford to miss this inaugural reconnection rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in.
The Wayne Hall Network. We're also up on the Make We Talk YouTube channel, operated by one Jeffrey Tavares. We're going to take some of your calls now, and let me just say that we have been assisting and helping Miss Blake with her son, who is scheduled to undergo a brain surgery sometime later this month, I think. There's a GoFundMe account that she has started, and there's a bank account at the Christiana branch of the NCB Bank. And indeed, she's asking, please, for your prayers. And indeed, those of you who can make a financial contribution, she is asking you, please, to assist in that regard. And, we hope and pray that she'll recognize the target and get that done. I think she spoke to me over the weekend and she said that just today or sometime this week, she's supposed to do about 4 blood tests for the young man. He is just 4 years old. All right. So we're asking you to see how best you can assist in that regard. Let's go to our first call of the morning. Hello, caller.
Morning, Novi.
Hi, Marshy. How you doing? Welcome.
There, man, there.
Yes. How are you? How are you? You're good?
To God be the glory, you know.
Great things he has done, eh?
Yeah, man. But let me tell you something. One of the most disturbing things happened, I think it's Friday night or one of them days. But matter about the behavior of that man towards the woman.
You mean the man that beat the nurse?
Yes, man. Let me tell you something, man. No hospital shouldn't work, man. Believe you me, no, man.
No. I disagree with you. I disagree with you because what happened? I believe that that 99.99% of Jamaicans are in solidarity with our health professional and nurses and so on. So you wouldn't be achieving anything to deprive persons who are in need of health care by shutting down the hospital. We must show solidarity with the nurses and support them, you know, but shutting down hospital and so no, that's a no.
The thing this you realize what the man do to the woman. Spitting all the woman's face. Put the man head a ground and step on it, you know, man. When I pass, I did see the man hold the woman and cartwheel her, you know. Slam her down, you know, man, and then
you know, Marsha, I'm going to share something. I'm going to share something with you and my listeners. Yesterday, I'm not even going to call the place of business, but yesterday I was at a place of business with some young men there. And one of them said that a policeman attended the facility early in the morning to get service, and he showed them a video. And it's showing them their opinion is that the woman was the aggressor and so on and so forth. And believe me, you'll be amazed what those young men were saying in support of the gentleman that herald, that beating, and that nurse. I just couldn't believe.
That's great.
You hear what I said?
How the man to be the aggressor? I passed the man one pass the man, you know. I told the man I took the woman, I took her hand, you know. And he get upset. Who really think he is?
They highlighted, one of the things that they were highlighted is to say that the gentleman did not pull a gun on her, but the gun fell from his hand and somebody took up the gun and give it back to him or something like that.
So, did that come out with them plan already? Well, do man, I'm a damn good lawyer going in court. But no, let me tell you something.
Who is representing her?
I said,
okay.
Let me tell you something, man. And you don't hear nothing from the Prime Minister. You don't hear nothing from him. Him is a man. Him love to talk. If I even say can look vote, make we hear something from him. After you Bob the Greens must just put something.
Marsh, there are protests taking place now. As a matter of fact, as we speak, the nurses at UWI and Conrod Regional, they're protesting, and I think that nurses in Mandeville had also served notice that they will be protesting.
This thing must be island-wide, man. They got to be serious, man. After Patricia Duncan, she speak. What happened to the rest of the women them in the parliament? Me not look for the PNP women them alone. What to the GLP women them? Well, I can understand their position because the stand with them take with Judge right after him stool the other woman. It's like difficult for them come out and say something now, really. But no, this really bad. And for every female motorist out there now, they must be worried.
Marsh, another lady, a nurse even, she gave an account that she was basically attacked by the same gentleman.
That's correct.
See,
that beast. That beast not in the road, man.
Marsha,
yes.
I'm going to share this segment with as many people as I can. I know that you so rap for me because I hear the line buzzing.
All right. Let's hear the other people.
Yeah, you can call. You can always call back later. But I want to take as many in the half an hour here.
Not a problem.
All right, thanks a lot. So all of us, certainly including myself, I'm very, very outraged as to what I saw there on that tape with the gentleman or the person, the man, right? Whatever he is, heralding those blows and that lady. All right? The numbers are 876-212-9824, 876-462-0919. My name is Conrad Brian, the fireman. We go up until 12 midday. You're listening to the better sound of radio, News Talk 93 FM, and indeed we're simulcasting with our partners, Fit FM, Caribbean Vibe Radio, the Wayne Hall Network, and indeed the Tavares, the Make We Talk YouTube channel, and also on the Conrod OB TikTok page. Hello, welcome, caller.
Hi, Conrad. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Margaret? Murray? It has been a while, eh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Conrad, remember you said when Damien was campaigning in East Portland?
Yes, I remember.
And he made the remarks that Anne-Marie Vaz will never be, MP, to paraphrase, she will only be Mrs. Vaz, which in truth and fact she is Mrs. Vaz, right?
Yes.
I remember everybody did outrage, and White came out, and even the range flew from Kingston, you understand me, helicoptered to East Portland to join in a protest because of what Damien Crawford said. You remember? Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Okay, yeah. So it's funny now. This is grievous bodily harm to this lady. You understand me? Because first thing, if you spit in her face, that is so egregious because that's bodily. You giving to this woman that she didn't ask for. You understand me? And it paints a wider picture of this gentleman. If I take the liberty of saying so, what happens behind closed door? Because if you can be out in the public and you deal with a woman, so put our status aside, our profession, but overall, a female, and you can deal with her. So what does that say of you? That is what I'm looking at. That this one was in control. Was he inebriated? What I want. A gay man, what can go so?
You say, Marie, I don't know how to. I really don't know what to say to you, because it is almost incomprehensible to really, come to grip that a man could treat a woman in that manner. No matter how you would say that, listen, the woman, based on what I said that I was hearing from some people who were trying to make the case that she, whatever. No matter that, first thing to begin with, he was armed. Don't get the impression that the nurse had a gun. So he was actually, by virtue of his gun in hand, he was exerting excess force there. So it's no, not at all. So, but this one is going to be very, very interesting. But as one of my listeners here saying that, listen, one of my listeners said, and I am not really, I don't know that if I want to go down the route, but certainly I must mention one of my listeners saying that, listen, when you have someone in the form of George Wright, still sitting in the parliament after we witnessed that tape, then maybe that have emboldened the gentleman to believe that he can do anything. So I don't know.
You know, you know, for us as a woman, you know, I want to apologize for that lady and tell her that, you know, we'll feel it as a lady and whatever, because nobody should be treated that way. The man be woman like she's a rag doll. You understand me? And like I say, and I say it without apology, what happens behind closed door if this man could be out in the public and behaving like that towards a female? And, you know, even if it was a man, even if it was a gentleman, because sometimes we tend to, you know, genderize things, and so if it was a man, Conrad, suppose you did have
it's about the stronger oppressing the weak, and this happen. We see this happen in a violent way out in the street, but we are also witnessing this in other ways.
Yeah, this road rage, Conrad, you know, and stuff, because you know, from the story is that, you know, she's going to work, she probably late, and even then, Conrad, sometimes people do that in a driving, that they tend to stop in the middle of the road to have a conversation, not realizing that you're holding up traffic, and what woman are on, you know, does that right to come out, you spit, you know, drag her out, you know, and all of that, and then the cherry on the top, you pull your gun on her, you know, that is ultimate fear, Conrad. From you pull your gun, even if me did a fight back, from you pull your gun, me I go stop fight, because we can't fight a weapon, you know. So the FLA should I get involved, so because I'm sure.
No man, the FLA is involved. The FLA got involved. As a matter of fact, they actually, I think, issued a communique early in the piece, you know, that they would basically, and they must have an interest in that. They're talking about a firearm being exposed like that, you know, like that. But I don't know if anybody, because I must confess, I haven't seen that part of the tape, but based on what somebody was saying to me, is that, you know, a police officer visited a business place that that the person, you know, own and operate, and he showed them a tape yesterday showing that the gun actually fell from the man, and he picked it up. He didn't really remove the gun from the holster to go out. I don't know if anything like that. I don't know if anybody have any footage. Any of that footage.
In this age of AI, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Yes.
So, you know, whatever. So, you know, let's see. You know, the court of opinion is different from the court. The court of public opinion is different from the court of law. So, you know, let's see how this work out. I mean, no, the lady going on a cat. There's anytime she's driving, and there's a
she must be terrified.
No, be terrified, and don't even want toot her on for probably save her own life.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, Conrad.
All right. Thanks a lot, Marie. Take care. God bless you. All right. Let's see if we can get a few in this segment here as we go up to the 10 o'clock hour. Remember that at 10 minutes after 10, we'll be having our spotlight guest. Christopher Henry will be in the under the spotlight this morning. Hello, welcome, caller.
Hi, morning, Mr. Brian.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Marlon?
I'm good, man. What do you understand to be the significance or rationale behind a ribbon cutting ceremony? And I'm asking that against the backdrop, really, of the opposition leader now taking issue with ribbon cutting ceremonies, essentially castigating and lambasting them. So I'm throwing it out. What do you understand to be the significance of a ribbon cutting ceremony?
All right, I respond to that, but let me engage you for a moment based on the hot button matter here. You believe that what the callers are saying, our persons are texting, that based on the fact that we have a tape that shows a George Wright beating a woman, beating his lady, and persons within the Jamaica Labour Party government give him some form of comfort, you think that this basically would have basically emboldened men to carry out the act that the man did out the nurse recently?
Well, first of all, as a well-thinking and sensible Jamaican, I condemn any abuse of any person, man, woman, boy, or girl, particularly the most vulnerable, such as women, children, and of course the elderly. Now, in relation to this controversy surrounding George Wright, the public recall that when this controversy came to the fore, George Wright elected to neither confirm nor deny that he was in fact the person on the tape. But I'm not in the business of speaking here on those matters that are offensive, those matters that are wrong, and if that was in fact George Wright, or whether or not that was George Wright with that stool, that was a reprehensible display, and it is good in circumstances where George Wright neither confirmed nor deny that it was him on that tape. It was appropriate for the Labour Party to have taken the punitive and disciplinary action that it took against him. But I want to.
But before I'm going to get to it. But before that, what do you make of the fact that the late Mr. Masalaman, who was a fellow here at the University of West Indies in the School of Business, Mono School of Business, and former head of Grace Kennedy, he said that the authority, i.e. the government and the police, which is a police force, they had the power to basically get this illuminated to show every single blade of grass and that tape, and the government of the day refused from doing so. And now George Wright is back in arm and glove with the Labour Party, and is now is again on the ticket as the Labour Party candidate down there in Central Westmoreland. Do you think that is? Don't you think that's appalling, Marlon?
So I know that comment you attribute to Mr. Jimmy Solomon. No, I'm not in a position to confirm whether the police elected not to amplify that video footage so as to definitively establish the identity of the person or persons captured on that footage. But the fundamental point is that the abuse of women, like what we have seen in that video up in Mount Pleasant, up in West Rural St. Andrew, is to be condemned. So whether it is Conrad O'Brien, whether it is Fitz Jackson, whether it is Michael Phillips, whether it is
Morgan, Andrew Holness,
any person who does any such thing, that is to be condemned. So the fundamental point here, my brother, as I heard Mr. Marsh a while ago, yes, is that the Prime Minister, his Minister of State in the Minister of National Security, came out and condemned this issue with the nurse on Thursday. So too did the Health Minister, so too did the Gender Minister, Patsy Green. So I heard Mr. Marsh a while ago, he took Mr. Holness to task. This is the same Mr. Marsh who took him to task when he visited the mother of young Kelsey Ferguson on Mother's Day. And the same Mr. Marsh who took Holness to task.
No, hold on, Marlon. Let's put things in context. Nobody is saying that Mr. Holness should not visit the mother. Hold on, please. Should not visit the mother. What we're talking about, including myself, is the public spectacle. I have seen where former Prime Minister Portia Simsimila would have gone to visit people who are having their issue. I've seen where Mark Golden have gone to visit people and they don't make it a public spectacle. One would even remember when those persons were grieving down there in Clarendon and so on, and Mark Golden and others went there. They didn't make it a spectacle. I don't know why we have to put everything out there for photo op. Hold on, Marlon. I don't know why we have to put everything out there as photo op. Even giving poor people £2 a rice and one bun, it become a movie. We must stay away from those things. But I have limited time, Marlon, so I want to...
We know the perspective. I'm just going to share some quickly with you, and then I'll allow you to respond to the issue of the ribbon cutting. Perspective quickly is this. We live in a society where, based on the apathy and the contempt for politicians, the narrative is oftentimes that politicians don't do nothing. So when a Prime Minister gives a house, a new social housing program house to a person, I think it is quite opportune and important for the Prime Minister to have a ribbon cutting ceremony.
First thing to be I must respond to that. I must respond to that. First thing to begin with.
All kinds of
first thing to begin with, Marlon. A prime minister using the state resources to give a poor person a house. The prime minister at the very maximum, I think, is a councillor, and I probably elevate it a bit. It's not supposed to move from the threshold of, say, the local member of parliament. It is waste of time for the prime minister to do that. I interviewed hold on, please. I interviewed Natalie Anita Garvey here, and she said that a lady who was given one of this house, she came to her during the hurricane and said she and her daughter had nowhere to stay. As MP, she said to her, move into the house. You know that the lady had to remove from the house in order to give the prime minister the opportunity to have his day in terms of ribbon cutting, what can go. So we must move away, Marlon, from these things, and he must find it in you as a decent person, right? I'm taking it you are, as a decent person, and condemn those things, Marlon, irrespective of whichever party form the government. Those things are backward, and it is insultive.
And the issue of bun and cheese to people and standing in solidarity with people in their hour of bereavement. But I just come back to where I started, OB. What is the significance of a ribbon cutting ceremony? Because I'm putting it to you as the opposition leader that if you don't have anything to cut ribbon about, you would not be able to cut. You can't cut ribbon about breeze and sky, yes, or fresh air. You have to be doing something to break ground. I have to be doing something to cut ribbon. And we're delighted as a party to have opened the new Morat Urban Center. All right,
Marlon. Thanks a lot. I'm sure my listeners will have something to weigh in. Let's go to 10 o'clock break. God bless you.
The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica.
The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it Andrew, call it, and Iman will sound the trumpet.
Dear Mr. Prime Minister, it's almost 9 years since you took over the country. Name yourself brokered while basking in election glory. Little did we know that you would matriculate to becoming Jamaica's first Prime Minister to lead a heist on taxpayers' money. With a whopping 28 bank account, you laugh and skin your teeth while bold head hang low in this national defeat. I remember when you tell with a Tanawi yard, leaving Jamaicans sitting in limbo. Even before that, you promised me could leave open my door and my window. You take your wife turn Madam Bully of the Parliament, showing Jamaicans who is the real man, whether in or outside an agreement. You raise your pay to a higher standard, while teachers, doctors and nurses leave yard to go look work abroad. Mr. Prime Minister, me not know if you see it. Maybe you're blind. Cause between me and you, Jamaica is singing a new song. 'cause it's about time. Time for a new direction. Time for a new leader. Time for a change. So take it from me, Mr. Prime Minister. Light a candle, sing a song, and find your way back home. Yours cross, angry, miserable, a patriotic Jamaican.
I do not believe that the Jamaica Labour Party is a party that is humanitarian. I don't think they think about the human factor.
Do you think that the opposition has a chance in the next general election?
The best chance the opposition ever know. I think that charisma
is exactly.
Andrew B. But if you have a look at intelligence, Mark Golden is no disrespect to Burgard, and I hope nobody will take this as no. But if you look at basic understanding and basic conversation, like Andrew Holness, we say this something nicer. Mark Golden is more of the people than Andrew Holness. I think that Andrew Holness is very pretentious. You understand me? I think that he plays the part of the man of the people better. Underemployment is worse than unemployment, because if you're working less than what it costs you to live and go to work, that is underemployment.
Remember, Randy used to tell us that every meal make a muck.
No, and I say go. But if you have to use 5 mickle to get 1 muckle, it don't make no sense. You understand me? I say them conversation are a political conversation. Them conversation are a life conversation.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland, take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica.
See for yourself.
Feel so relaxed. You feel like you're at home.
The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica.
See for yourself.
We up here talk. We support the police them here to do the right thing. And the police them we tell judge, jury and executioner, them we against. And the whole country should come out and support this because we have youth, a poor son we get. And enter them kill a son, then find all kind of way to justify what them do. And push down the carpet because we live in a corrupt government. Them things I need to change and stop. We are doing modern thing now that improve life and make yourself better in life. Therefore, the police should come along with us. Because we are doing progress. They've never did some ancient time thing where they just kill people picnic and not come out and can't work anymore. It's a modern technological age where people are very, very intelligent no matter how poor they are. Therefore, the police should look in themselves and see who is wrong from who is right and support the right. Don't support the wrong because we the people are with the police, but not the police who become judge, jury and executioner. Therefore, there should be no courthouse, there should be no judge. The police is the judge. In this situation, the police has become the judge. What is the purpose of a judge and a courthouse and a lawyer? The police are killing and they use them. It is shown on regular on the cameras. It is shown police are murdering people.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. We interrupt this program to bring you a very special item of news just into a news center. The Jamaica Nursing Council Association is holding a protest right now in Kingston, Jamaica. That's the Jamaica Nurses Association is holding a protest as we speak in Kingston, Jamaica, calling out, and apparently what I'm seeing now, I'm giving two broadcasts here. I see the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, along with others, are marching along Hope Road, it seems like, yes. There's a live feed coming into us, both on our other channel. Let me go over to this one here and see if I can get it. I don't want to leave Conrad O'Brien out there. I think Conrad is ready for us. Is he? Let me figure out something here. Yes, he's ready for us. Let's go back over to Conrad O'Brien. But based on what you're hearing now, there's a protest going on in Kingston, Jamaica, where nurses are protesting. The demonstration is led by the Minister of Health himself, Dr. Christopher Tufton.
Caribbean Vibe Radio and Wayne Hall Network. We're also streaming live on the Make We Talk YouTube channel and, of course, on the Conrad OB TikTok page. So we invite you to make use of those offerings and indeed share with us. Tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods already. So here we are. We're up and running. It's that time of the morning. It's now, wow. Okay. All right. Something went awry there. It's now 10 minutes after 10 o'clock here on News 93 FM. So this hour is sponsored by our friends at Wellington Dental. And welcome to our feature, the Spotlight. We're joined by a man who says he's not just listening to the people. He is rolling up his sleeves and getting things done. He's been out in the community, hearing the concern firsthand, and is now focused on delivering real solution. And indeed, joining us this morning online is Attorney at Law Christopher Henry, the People's National Party caretaker for St. Andrew North Central, with a strong vision centered on youth empowerment, community development, and sustainable infrastructure. He brings fresh idea and a renewed energy to the political landscape. Without further ado, let me welcome to the microphone of News Talk 93 FM, again, attorney at law, Christopher Henry, the People's National Party caretaker for St. Andrew, North Central. Hi, Chris, how you doing, attorney at law?
Greetings, Conrad, and greetings to your listeners. Happy Monday.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I must say, it's a pleasure having you here, Chris, and it would be remiss of me not to mention that I saw you on the stamping ground there of your colleague, Danishko Williams, who seems to be doing a great job down there in Southwest Center. Southwest Center, and I saw you there on the platform last night, and of course, as the MC Trumpet Bell said, you were short, sweet. You used 3 S's to describe your speech there, so I want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the conference there. As I do, I watch these conferences from both sides, based on what I do, I like to capture the net as broad and as wide as possible. But, Chris, you have a job at hand here in North Central St. Andrew. It is said that the job is quite enormous. But, let's tell Jamaica a little bit about who is Christopher Henry.
Okay. Well, Christopher Henry is a relatively young attorney at law who grew up within St. Andrew North Central. Attended the Arden High School.
Lift your voice a little bit for me, Chris, please.
Yes. Attended the Arden High School. Then went on to the University of West Indies. Was one of the few that got straight into law and was one of the first set who did their LLB, Bachelor of Laws, completely at UMona. I didn't go to Barbados. Then the law school, and I also have my master's in law for corporate and commercial law, which I gained with a certificate of merit.
Wow.
I am also a very active churchman. I'm a Roman Catholic. I go to Stella Maris Church.
Yeah.
While not in the constituency, close enough. I am also, I was also an ardent swim team and very avid swimmer. I used to play water polo as well.
Oh.
I am a bit of a history buff. I love history. I will sit down and watch historical documentaries for days. And I genuinely enjoy politics and its entire functioning, So I think that is Christopher Henry. I was grown up by grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents here in North Central, and my parents are very much alive, but they wanted me, for what I understand, so be properly raised. And there's only certain wisdom that can come from the grandparents. So that's basically me in a nutshell.
Good, because I gather you would have spent some very, 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 very early embryonic stage of your life in the US, but you were you came home to Jamaica to your grandparents as a baby, so to speak. So we can understand there. Are they still alive, grandparents? Are they still alive?
Yes, very much alive and kicking. The one is going to be 92 in September. The other one is 90, actually next week. And still driving up and down. Still very active in their church, and how the older people are.
Yes.
So you wouldn't, when you look at them, you wouldn't believe they're at that age.
That age. So you're from good stock, Chris. Good genes there. All right.
Yes.
Alrighty. So you know how to take care of the elderly, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yes, I know exactly.
So, Chris, just the synopsis here that I mentioned just now, about you rolling up your sleeve, being out there, and so on. Talk to us about what piqued your interest into getting into representational politics.
It is interesting because I've always had the interest from as early days at I went to the Stella Maris Prep School as well. From the early days of Stella Maris Prep, I always wanted to do it. Some relatives of mine refer to me as politician. So I've always, because I remember, I think I was about 7 or 8, and I remember vividly saying to one of the said relatives that I don't understand why Mr. Siaga don't go and sit down. He's holding the Jamaican Labour Party back, and this is at 7 or 8. So it was always interesting, and I've always had this view.
You mean you made that comment at about 7 or 8?
At about 7 or 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I was reading, we were having something, the family was having something, and they were talking politics, and I said to them, and they've never forgotten it, and they've never made me forget it. That I was like, I don't know why Mr. Siaga don't sit down because he's holding the Jamaica Labour Party back. And they were so impressed because they said, why would you say that? And I said, his age alone, and he's no match for, at the time, PJ Patterson, who was light years ahead of him, and in my small little mind, a young man that represents the country more than Mr. Siaga, but that's a whole other argument for a whole other time. So it was always that I wanted to enter into politics, as well as I wanted to be able to be put in the seat. This is when I went over to Arden now. I would have said to myself that, I want now to be put in a position that I can make laws to help people. I can legislate to move our country forward and to better the life of my fellow countrymen. And that is the main driving force for my entrance into politics. I see politics as a vehicle of the betterment of people, not self-enrichment, not self-advancement, but that we are simply servants of the people, and that is exactly what we should do. And that is what I wanted to do.
Good. So you're saying that you pretty much knew what you wanted to do from a very tender age. That would lead me to a question. Were you growing up in a sort of conscious political family? I know you mentioned your grandparents. Were they, up on the curve as it relates to politics, and would basically, having political discussion within the house, or so, just straight current affairs and things like that?
Yes, it was. My grandfather was actually the chief engineering officer at the Ministry of Education, 1962 to 1972. I know that one of the first scandals in this country about the number of schools that went missing. He was in the cut and thrust of that, and he was a part of that drive to build the schools.
So hold on, Christopher. So you would have first-hand information as it relates to what went down there. The fact that your grandfather was there in a senior position.
Exactly, I do.
Good.
I do. And it was quite interesting. Even when he went into private practice, he and Tony Spalding, he was very much involved in the development of Garvey Mead and the other Portmore communities, as you would know, that the People's National Party was the driver behind Mr. Kennedy. So he was always up to date. My great-grandmother, who I had the privilege of knowing as well, was a party worker for what, as far as a glass pole, what they used to call in the Brown Bomber. So she was very much in the trenches in East Kingston and Port Royal.
Okay.
So I was very exposed to political life very early and very, very frequently.
So now that you're trust in what people would refer to as a difficult seat, Carl Samuda is now 83. I gather he has been there since 19 1980. Why would you trust yourself in this seat? Well, I know you. Well, let me ask a question direct. Why would you be interested in this seat that some people would see as an uphill, a difficult task? And while there may be other seats that you could try for, why North Central?
Firstly, I am a son of the soil. That is one. Two, Jamaicans ever say nothing good don't come easy. There is far much more that I can do for the people of North Central than what is currently taking place, and I want to do it. I am interested in doing it. They have suffered from poor representation for far too long, and I am here to offer change.
Good. That said, Christopher Henry, attorney at law, caretaker for North Central St. Andrew for the People's National Party. That said, you can offer much more. Yeah. From time to time, we talk about the longevity of a candidate or a political representative. And, for reason known to some people, they hail the person. But when you look at the deliverables within the constituency, it is so lacking, so poor. How would you describe this constituency of North Central St. Andrew under the leadership of Carl Samuda over the last, what would that be, 40 odd years? 45 years.
And it is interesting to know that for a brief time he changed allegiances. In 1993, he ran on the PNP until 1997. Yes. So I would say it's a tale of two Jamaicas. It's a microcosm of Jamaica. You have Norbrook, you have Stony Hill, Stillwell, Orange Grove, that are relatively comfortable constituents, and then you have off Whitehall Avenue, the 12 lane, the 100 lane, the Plum lane, the Park lane, Common, and the Cassava Piece, and Group Country in Town, which is up Congo Town and Wireless, that they're not so wealthy or they're not so comfortable
they're poverty stricken when the main poor people trying hard to find their dinner. A lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah, talk it as it is, man.
Frankly put, yes. So you have, as I say, the tale of two Jamaicans. It's a microcosm of Jamaica. And it is interesting that both sets of persons within this constituency are unhappy. You have, for those who are not struggling, the poor road infrastructure, road breaking away, right? The neglect, street lights not there, people developing places that these high-rise right next to a one-floor bungalow and looking straight into my bedroom because the balcony is right there by my bedroom window. These and a lack of consultation, a lack of green spaces, where you're supposed to be able to walk, which comes back to infrastructure development again, because you mash up the market, the people have been displaced, so they're all over, right? And we're supposed to be the transport center has become an informal market, forcing people who are waiting for the transportation to have to be competing with the vendors who are selling their wares. For those who are struggling, it's again a lack of infrastructure, a lack of street lighting, a lack of any reasonable help for access to, for example, the younger people. A lot of them have I would say business brain, but they can't get a start, and nobody is there to really develop that business or to give them a jump start. Right? Then there's also the lack of employment around, and some, there are one or two who and people, constituents on a whole, who have the skill, who want skills training. There is none really. no program that is advertised, etc. So it is almost as if it is a abandonment of the people of North Central St. Andrews that has taken place. And when anytime there is any action on anything, it's a knee jerk, it's reactionary. There's no proactive work by the current MP to improve lives, etc.
So all in all, Christopher Henry, what you just paint, the picture that you paint there is a dismal picture. And just listen. It sounds to me that you are giving a failing grade to the sitting member of parliament.
I am. I am. Because I hear 45 years and I'm wondering where the legacy is. I'm wondering what exactly that in 2025 there are people who don't have running water within an urban constituency. And it's not because water commission have been locked off and etc. It's because no water is running through those pipes. And a constituency that has direct access to the constant spring. Right? So it's very interesting to me that they keep speaking of this legacy of the gentleman. I'm struggling to see it.
For persons who are listening, Chris, who may not be so aware of the geography of the constituency, just in a cursory way, just give us a picture as to where the constituency boundaries are. If you me.
I go as far as Wireless, Old Stone Hill Road, and Mannings Hill, Smoky Vale, piece of Mannings Hill rather, Smoky Vale, come down, Mannings Hill Road, Whitehall Avenue, Catawba piece, 100 Lane, piece of Red Hills Road, 100 Lane, Park Lane, Common, all of Whitehall Avenue, Canton Spring Road, Norbrook, a place called Congotown, which is within Norbrook, and Maryvale, and those off roads off Mannings Hill Road, Maryvale, Rochester, Oakland is also including us, and they call it 4 roads, but when you cross over the road where the intersection of Grandspen and Shortwood, the side towards the gully, which is Shortwood Avenue, Fagan Avenue, that is also including us. Charlton, Allardyce.
Boy, it sounds like you know your constituents like back of your hand. I'm going to go to the 10:30 break, Chris. I'm going to come back with you for a little in the next half an hour, and I want us to zero in. You have highlighted the ills of the constituency. I want you to share with your constituents and the listeners, how do you plan to tackle these ills that face the constituency of North Central St. Andrew? So come.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Time come now. Time come. We need a leader with a plan, and Mark is the man.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. As we take a commercial break from Conrad O'Brien, we're getting a live coverage of a protest going on in Kingston, and the coverage is courtesy of Andre Stevenson, where the nurses are protesting against the disrespect of a man who stepped on the neck of a nurse. The protest is led by none other than the Minister of Health himself, Dr. Christopher Tufton. Let's hear what's going on in that live protest, and we'll go back live to Conrad O'Brien.
Is enough! Enough 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 is enough! Enough
You can see Dr. Tufton flagged by his security details as he joined nurses in protest against what is going on in our country, Jamaica, with the nurses. Of that man stepping on the nurses and the nurse neck could have killed her, but thank God she's still alive. Live coverage there.
Yeah, live. No excuse. No excuse. So that gather, it's a good look. It's a good look. We know what. Yes. Outside, yes. Enter the ministry.
There you have it. Persons gathered at Heroes Circle protesting what is going on with women in Jamaica, in particular a nurse who was brutally beaten by a Mercedes-Benz driver, one of the people of the VV. We're going to go back over to Conrad O'Brien, but this is the live feed we're having. Another live feed is going on by the Mekwi Talk channel, where we're having a live coverage on that. But we're having a live coverage over here. There you can see Dr. Tufton giving out water to all the nurses there. So this is what is going on. We're going to go back over to Conrad O'Brien right now. But my other channel has a live feed going on with what is going on in Kingston, Jamaica.
National Party PNP caretaker for St. Andrew North Central, Christopher Henry. Let's go back to Mr. Henry. Hi, Mr. Henry. Thanks for holding, sir.
Yes, man.
Good. Let me just remind our listeners that we're indeed in the hour sponsored by our friends at Wellington Dental. Chris, you basically, talked about the lack of representation, because it comes down to that. Lack of representation. Maybe somebody may be seen, but certain the deliverables not there. So it comes down to lack of representation. And you're saying that, in your book, you are giving Mr. Samuda a failing grade. Now, Chris, after, highlighting those, share with your constituents who are listening and who may be voting for Mr. Samuda for some time now. Say, here is a young man with vision and so on. Tell the people what you are bringing to the table, please.
Well, we're simply bringing action to the table.
Mm-hmm.
We have established a sort of, so far, help or a complaint line that or a line of communication with me,
mm-hmm.
that my constituents feel free already to approach me about certain issues.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let me start with Congo Town. When you drive up Norbrook Drive and you go up Norbrook Crescent, there's a settlement called Congo Town. There is no road. It is a mile track, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the first things they said to me was that, Mr. Henry, we need some lights, because it's very dangerous when our people are coming in from work especially in the Christmas time, the end of the year,
Mhm.
wherein it gets dark early.
Yes.
So one of the first things we jumped on was to put some street lights up there. While you know that we can,
Those are the solar street lights.
the solar street lights, yes.
Mhm.
So now we did 4 of them, and they are extremely grateful because darkness is no more.
Good.
We also did that up Smoky Vale / Manning's Hill, where we had gotten lights to go up there. There was a dark, the light.
So it sounds like you're doing the MP work for him, man.
No, I'm saying, you know. And we did some around Grand Spencer on Shortwood Avenue and Fagan Avenue. We haven't completed Grand Spencer yet. We're going to do some more. That's one part. We also, there are other issues that are in the constituency. For example,
So Grand Spencer is shared between you and Stacey.
Right, correct. Once you cross over what they call 4 roads is me. And then going towards Barbican side is Stacey. Right.
How is? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to. So you said that's where you started. In terms of the people who are really what you say more not as privileged in the constituency. What's your plans for those people in terms of getting training and all of those sort of things so they can uplift themselves? Any plan for that?
Yes, of course. One of the things that my office will establish once elected MP is, let me deal with the business and the entrepreneurial side first, which is we want to encourage younger people and business people on a whole that, more the younger people, that they have a Jumpstart program. We'll call it Operation Jumpstart, that we are going to fund from our CDF. That they come with their business plan and they tell us the business idea. And we are not going to fund your entire startup capital. We give you something, right? And we'll ensure that you get a start in whatever little business that you're doing. And I kind of start already, because there is a young lady, a nail technician from Cassava Peace, who said to me, boy, I want to increase my stock. And we've already dispersed an amount to help her in that. Right? So that is for the because in St. Andrew North Central, we have a lot of entrepreneurial individuals, and we want to encourage them. I want to build, because when those entrepreneurs, it's a chain reaction. Once those entrepreneurs get their start and business blossoms and flourishes, they can provide employment. And in providing employment, we ease the chronic unemployment that has plagued our constituency for so long. In relation to those who are not so minded, we intend to have our jobs bank within my office for jobs, whether they be within the constituency or outside, for them to view and to, with their qualifications, apply. And you can get a good word in from the MP as well, right? For those as well, we also intend to beef up our partnership with Heart. I don't think there's one currently with the current MP, but this one, we intend to talk to Dr. Ingleton and her team to increase the program offerings here within St. Andrew North Central, and to increase the number of persons who are interested, who want to get that training.
And also to look at basically having more and more of them certified on the job, so to speak.
Yes, yes. What I will also continue, because I understand that the Member of Parliament already does it, but I want to increase the scale, is the educational grants and the educational scholarships that we've been giving out. We want to ensure that no child is left behind in St. Andrew North Central, and straight up we want to ensure that everybody is educated straight up to tertiary, because we want to contribute to national development from our neck of the woods.
Good.
So we want to ensure that our people, our constituents, are ready to take on that challenge.
Excellent, Chris. The time is up on me, so I have two question two more things that I want to talk to you quickly on. Across Jamaica, the length and breadth of Jamaica, one of the cry is we have a lot of absentee in school, and that is basically because people are unable to find lunch money or the taxi fare and so on. Are you picking up that in a widespread way in North Central St. Andrew? And
Not
how do you tackle that?
It exists.
It exists.
It exists. But I will say this about the people of North Central: they're very resourceful. They help one another.
Mm-hmm.
But it exists, and it is something that I want to correct as well, because there is and it's not as prevalent as I said, but there's a thing that one child goes today and the other child goes to school the next day because they can't find the lunch money. So we want to have a lunch money fund too.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that we've been tinkering with, but we understand. We heard the amount of the CDF for North Central, and we say, yes, ma'am, we can establish a little lunch money fund. It's not going to help you all the way, but it's going to give you something to offset.
Good. Yes. So two things now, Chris. On the
as well as transportation, we want to also establish a sort of pool. We want to encourage. We have a number of taximen here in North Central. We want to establish a pool of taximen that can act as a transportation that transport the children for free, but we give them gas and probably a little stipend as well.
All right. Thanks for that. No, you focus on the constituency, focus and so far. In terms of the national politics now, you have two persons who are offering themselves to lead this country. Andrew Holness, Brogard, and Mark Jefferson Golden, Marky G. One is certified by the body that is instituted to do so, in the form of Mark Golden. He's certified, and the other, Mr. Holness, he's not certified. Right. Are you picking up that, integrity, corruption, and all of those sort of things, or conversation that you're picking up within your constituency, and do you believe that will play any significant role on the ballot come election day?
Definitely, with the comfortable. Let me say that. Initially, immediately when you speak to a number of people, but even within the not so comfortable, you hear it. They can see themselves voting for a man that has 28 bank accounts and cannot be certified by the Integrity Commission.
So as a result of that, Chris, do you believe that people will move away from Carl Samuda by way of expressing that disgust with Prime Minister Holness?
Yes, so it is going to be a double whammy. So it is also, boy, we can't allow this man to stay as Prime Minister, but boy, we can continue 45 years of nothing.
No, right? No, Chris, finally, and I'm ending where I began.
Yes.
The seat is traditionally a seat that go with the Labour Party. Of course, Carl carried for the PNP when he ran for the PNP. So he would develop somewhat of a kind of personality thing there. Some people would say, boy, Chris is basically committed political suicide. Talk to your listener in Jamaica. Does Christopher Henry has a real chance of taking this one in the winning column for the People's National Party come election day?
We do. What has damaged them is their current position of basically taking the seat for granted. It seems as if they're fighting over the seat rather than fighting for the people. So this is the best opportunity, one, for us to put the seat in the winning column for the People's National Party, as well as I'm of the view, thank you for your service, but time coming. Because he's a spend force. If you notice, and I said it in my article, I said it when I was interviewed by the Observer, that you notice it's Mrs. Samuda that did the article. If years gone by, Mrs. Samuda would be in the background. And she would not. She's the engine. I give her credit for credit due. She's the engine. And Mr. Samuda would be the one talking. You notice it is Mrs. Samuda that is speaking now. that is an indication of that things Mr. Samuda are tired now. And Mr. Samuda need to go and enjoy retirement.
And infighting with the lawn and certainly Christian Tavares Vincent, that certainly would have given some fillip as well.
Yes, it has. It has, because I've been expert and I won't say which way or which way. If them go one way, a certain set of people not voting. If them go the other way, a certain set of people not voting. And if Samuda runs back, another set of people not voting. So the base is completely and totally in disarray.
So all in all, Chris, do you believe that Mr. Samuda will be on the ticket for the Labour Party based on the latest revelation yesterday, where both candidates, that is Steve Wright and Tavares Vincent, has withdrawn?
I am of the view that we should watch and see. It would be, and I said it in a tweet about 2-3 days ago, that it would be elder abuse if you put an 83-year-old man on the ballot. And it would be unfair to the people of St. Andrew North Central to put an 83-year-old man, no matter if he is at his best, because nobody after 80 can be at their best, let's be frank. On a ballot to take on somebody who is 35 years old, an attorney at law, and who has already demonstrated that he's there to work for the people and be there for the people, as well as have a presence already in the community, in the constituency.
I'll close out by saying that your colleague down there in Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zalika Jess, she's offering you her good wishes. You guys went to law school together?
No, man, Zalika, I don't know, you know what, I don't want to say it, but I should be calling Zalika Miss Jess.
All right.
She's ahead of me.
All right.
Yes.
Blessings.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, and all the best in the constituency.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Conrad.
Cool. Take care. All right. So that's attorney at law, Christopher Henry there. He is the standard bearer for the People's National Party in the constituency that is represented by Carl Samuda for the last 45 years. He has been there since 1980. And we saw all sorts of fighting taking place inside there, So this one seems to be a major bother for the Jamaica Labour Party. It's your program. I'm the fireman, Conrad O'Brien, and we're happy for your support here on the program as we continue to tell you, to ask you rather, to invite your friends, your families, and even your foes to come onto this program. It's a place that you get the information undiluted. We hold no brief for anyone, and we speak truth to power, no matter who the guy is. It's now 10 minutes going up to 11 o'clock, and we're in the hour that is sponsored by our friends at Wellington Dental, Dr. Palmer and the team there. All right, so we're able to take your calls up to 10 o'clock. We have up to 11 o'clock rather. We have a few minutes to go, maybe 9 minutes to go. If you call in now, you can basically share the space within this window up to 10 o'clock. All right, the numbers are 876.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. We interrupt this program to bring you a special item of news just in. The Nurses Association of Jamaica, headed by the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, is holding a mass protest as we speak, right in front of Hero Circle in downtown Kingston. That's the Nurses Association, headed by the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, is holding a protest as we speak in downtown Kingston. We will be joining our good friend from Partner Draw TV, Mr. Andre Stevenson, in just a moment. But let's go back to Conrad O'Brien with more programming. This was Make We Talk Breaking News. This is Make We Talk Breaking News.
say this on the station. You have to type, Jeffrey. I can't say things that is sent to me in things on the station because I can't speak while I'm on. I can't do that's while I'm on air. All right. So we are aware that there is a protest that is taking place on the. All right. Somebody saying the live very noisy in the background. Online, however, is clear. All right. So thanks for that info there. And we gather that the opposition spokesperson health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, and indeed his counterpart, Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health, they are out there with the health workers protesting. So that's a good look there. All right. Hello. Welcome, caller. Caller?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, morning. How are you doing?
I am here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Patrick is the name.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, man. I feel in your voice to a kid there in St. Anne, Southwestern.
Oh, this is Patrick Taylor, surrogate for Xavier Main. Hello? Wow. Oh, seems I lost Patrick there. Patrick? Let's see if we let's see. I want to talk to Patrick. He's a part of the Xavier Main campaign team down there in Southwest St. Anne. So, Madam Producer, if you can get him back if he's lost, I'd like to hear what he has to say. So the phone lines open, and we are indeed happy to speak with anyone. We know we have a short window, but what 6 minutes? If we get him on, we can talk to him for that window there. All right, and that's a constituency there that Danishka Williams is doing a lot of work there. As a matter of fact, I get that the Labour Party is running scared. They're running like an air in that particular seat there. It was won some time ago in recent time by Keith Walford. That was when the PNP had that massive majority in 2011, 2012. And from all accounts, it seems as if this one will go back into the People's National Party based on what we're picking up on the ground and what the poll is saying. The national poll with the PNP up about, 6-7 percentage points ahead? Hello, welcome, caller.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. I saw you in your voice.
Yes, am I speaking with Mr. Taylor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Both you and Miss Williams talking about something that I don't think both of you are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Douglas Castle was a part of Southeast and
Patrick, Miss Williams and myself, we are very, very, very much aware of that. All you need to do, hold on, please. All you need to do is to go to the EOJ website and look at the cut that took place. We are people who do the work. We know, and we also know, we're also aware that the majority of vote in that area goes to who?
The Jamaica Labour Party.
Good. So we are aware of that. But the point is that Danishka Williams is making major inroads in that area, and the people are very, very disgusted with the representation for. Hold on.
PNP stronghold, and I was very, very disappointed with the turnout.
You would be, but Jamaica.
As a Labour,
hold on.
To see that Bohemia and Cascade and White didn't show up.
Hold on. You would be, but Jamaica. Hold on. Patrick, is either you're going to allow me to speak or I'm going to cut you? I'm going to cut you if you don't allow me to speak.
That's what I know you will do, because
Good.
I'm not one of those who's singing
No, it's not a matter of singing Sankey. We run a program here, and you're not going to come here and speak over me. All right? You can't do it elsewhere, so don't come here and try it.
I'm not trying to.
I am simply saying to you that all the meeting is there for everyone to see. It was well attended. What happened is that you're feeling the heat because one of the former campaign manager, I think for
Miss, had never been. You see, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, he was a major.
Had never been a part of the JP campaign in South
was he a major player within the Jamaica Labour Party? You're not going to come here and spin anything, Patrick. You're
talking about something again that you don't know about.
I am very much aware, and what happened is that you're there, Patrick, licking your wound. The Jamaica Labour Party seems to be in tatters. You're licking your wound. You're licking your wound. You're so aggressive. You're so aggressive, you know. You're so aggressive. Yes.
You're not allowing me to make my point. You're not allowing me to make my point.
I know. Go right. Go.
You want to talk?
Yeah. No, you're not. No, you're not going to come. You're not going to come and spread falsehood here because it is not true what you're saying.
You're the one who spread falsehood. Because you're saying that Pastor Barnes was a part of Xavier Main and the Jamaica Labour Party.
Pastor Barnes indeed was on the platform. Was he a hold on. Was he a major supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party?
No, never. He has never supported the Labour Party.
Hold on. You're saying
Cascade, he has never supported Xavier
Patrick, I submit to you. I submit to you that you're lying.
Well,
so you can bring the lawsuit here.
He has never.
You're indeed lying. You are lying. Anyhow, I have to leave you, Patrick. I have to leave you. Time is up on me. I'm going to the break. All right. So that's Patrick, the Xavier Main surrogate of the Jamaica Labour Party, coming here to spread falsehood about what's taking place down there in Southwest St. Anne. They're feeling the heat of young Danishka Williams. Let's go to the break. Suka.
Another student has lost her life, and it is said it's because of an in-driver.
Andre, I wouldn't say nothing else. It is being reviewed. We're just going to have to expedite what we're doing. We're going to have to move more quickly. The system sometimes takes long, but we have to ensure that we move things within the system so that we can get quicker action.
We're hoping, Minister, that something is done swiftly because what is happening to the women and the girls and the children of this country is of serious and grave concern.
You have our commitment, but not only that. We have acted. The Bureau of Gender Affairs. They're here today, and they're here in support. And we have done several things through the Bureau. We have introduced the sexual harassment legislature. The tribunal is now up and running. We have introduced measures within the Domestic Violence Act, the low-hanging fruits, and we have been able to implement those. We're also now doing the review of the entire legislation, the domestic violence legislation. A series of meetings were held, and a series of meetings are being scheduled for the next 2 months.
Okay.
We're going to expedite the Domestic Violence Act. We're going to say to our men, it's not just for us women to fight for ourselves. I want every man to recognize he has a responsibility to influence other men to stop the violence against women. And we do have a program like that. We have a program in the schools where we are saying to our young boys, you must recognize that the women of Jamaica are important. The girls in your school are important. Protect them. Protect them. And take the message out there to ensure that there is no further abuse. We are committed. And we stand here.
This is the person, everybody knows the
Just 130 support. Thank you for being here.
Minister, also stand in solidarity with the family, with the victims of this horrendous crime. Unfortunately, the victim is from my constituency. And so the people of St. Andrew Westwood, especially in the Mount Pleasant area, stand in solidarity with the victim. This is a brutal crime. This was an act, a cowardly act, and I believe that the law will definitely do what is necessary to make sure that he's punished with this. You know, I think
Everybody talk with us, stop. They tricked us with George Wright. But if they make an example out of George Wright, when George Wright beat the woman with the stool, this wouldn't have happened. Right? So all they are doing now, right? All they are doing now is PR. They tricked us with George Wright, and now George Wright is still running as a member of parliament.
So you said that the George Wright thing.
The George Wright thing is what set off all of this. No example was set out of that. No precedent was set, and that's why we are here now. Even policemen are beating women. We have seen it on the social media where police beating up women. There's a bigger problem than this.
Hey, it is. So you say a trick said the front that I go on.
You can't vote county elections here. Damage control. They did it with us with George Wright, and they are now trying to do it again. Don't believe them.
Yeah.
Damage control.
Ladies, say damage control. President partner, sir.
Labor.
Stand with mercy. Stand with women. Stand with everyone who is supporting this cause. Because this has to be the turning point in Jamaica, where violence overall is condemned, and we say enough is enough.
My name is Conrad, president of the Jamaica Enrollment Association. And our colleague, she's earthly. And we think the act that was done to her is a very cruel and artless act. And today we come to show our solidarity with her, to show that enough is enough. We have had enough, too much abuse of our females, too much killing of our women, too much killing of our children. We need today, we come to break the silence. No more violence. We cannot imagine how anyone would want to treat someone who needs love and affection in that way. Our young girls need love and attention. Our women need love and affection. Respect our women. Have heart of love for them. The women are the mothers of the nation. And when you trample the mother of the nation, it means that you're killing the nation itself.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask the head of the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Mrs. Robinson. I want you to just say a few words.
We are all standing in solidarity because Sharon Coburn Robinson, Principal Director for Gender Affairs, Function, Gender Education and Sports. Today we stand in solidarity with the nurses and all women and girls who have suffered at any point in their life cycle, any act of violence from any person at any point in their sojourn on this earth. We understand that violence is not to be tolerated, and this government of Jamaica has a zero tolerance approach against all forms of violence. And that is why we have done amendments to legislation such as the Domestic Violence Act, and we have enacted legislation such as the Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act to send a strong signal that the government of Jamaica has a zero tolerance approach to all forms of violence. We call on all persons to remember that women are human beings and they have rights. Girls are human, they're persons. And so we ask you to stop If you are contemplating violence, let today be the day you stop. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jamaica. So I am Don Marie Richards, President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica. And today we stand here in solidarity. Today we stand here in solidarity as we seek to ensure that awareness is brought to our nation in relation to gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is nothing new. And for the Nurses Association of Jamaica, we have been pushing this sensitization for 10 years now, from as far back as 2015. Every year, February 25, we carry out our Orange Day Walk, where we try to raise awareness for violence against women and girls. Last occasion was on February 25 in the beautiful parish of St. Elizabeth. We were at Black River, and we didn't get this support. I am very happy today to know that Jamaica is standing with us, because when I look around, it's not only nurses that are standing here. There are men, there are women, there are children. Everybody is here, and we are so happy that persons have understood that there's a call, and we must answer to the call. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so today, we say there is no excuse for abuse. I want you all to say, no excuse for abuse. No excuse for abuse. No excuse.
Amazes me to hear the Minister of Gender, as what the lady said on Andre program a while ago, that if they had put an example with George Wright, this wouldn't be going on. We're listening, watching from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. This is Make We Talk breaking news. We interrupt this program to bring an item of news. Jamaican nurses from all walks of life, headed by the Minister of Health, the Junior Minister of Health, and the Minister of Gender and Legal, the Minister of Gender, they're all out in their full force in support of the nurse who was brutally beaten. But yet Jamaicans are still asking the question, why didn't they stand up for George Wright? Let's go back in and listen to what they're saying. Let's go back over to Conrad. We do apologize for Conrad Bryan, where Wilfred Rattigan is coming on now. Go back over to Mr. Conrad Bryan as we get Wilfred Rattigan to come on to the program. Mr. Wilfred Rattigan is coming on to the program right now. Let's go back over to Conrad Bryan, where Wilfred Rattigan will be introduced as his second guest on the program here. Right over to Conrad Bryan.
And I know he's there holding. He's my guest coming up. But if you doubt me, just look at the two dailies today, and you would see that the Jamaica Labour Party is fractured, and certainly seems as if they're in tatters at this time. Rival bailout of JLP St. Andrew North Central race. That's the Gleaner reporting that. And it's also reported on the front page of the Observer, where it said peacemaker Samuda sent supporters home, but JLP still to settle candidate for St. Andrew North Central. And the article goes on. And the picture here on the Observer is not a lovely picture. It shows Carl over the other side talking to the people through a fence and all of that. Not looking very good at all. The Jamaica Labour Party on the whole, Andrew Holness, seems as if the Prime Minister has lost his grip, and the Labour Party. What's going on there at Belmont Road? Seems as if there is a major frenzy that is taking place. But these things happen within political party. But certainly you'd expect these things not to be happening within a governing within a government party on the eve of an election. And also, just by way of information, there's another protest that is taking place, or people coming out showing solidarity with the UTEC student demonstrating because the body of one of their own, Anicia Dillon, was basically found over the weekend as her father was asked to identify item that belonging to her daughter, and they were identified in the affirmative. Well, it's that time of the morning once again, and bear with me today. Today we're zeroing on quite a few interviews, so I know the callers, I know you have been ringing, but we're going to try and see if we can take some in the final half an hour to close the program with you, our listeners. It's now 11 minutes after 11, and this Monday morning, the 19th day of May 2025. We have online our guest, attorney at law, former FBI officer, senior officer, and indeed, the man who is now doing some work as investigative journalist. He hosts a very popular program, Reason with Rattigan, on the radio, Reggae Global Radio. And indeed, he's also up on the space there. So let me go to our guest, Mr. Rattigan. Hi, Wilfred. How are you doing? Welcome to Straight Up. And this morning we'll be talking to Wilfred about the whole how the medical waste, disposal of medical waste. Hi, Wilfred. Welcome to Straight Up once again, sir. How are you doing?
Fireman, thank you for having me, and blessings to you, the staff, and all the listeners. I'm here, ready to go.
Respect. Now, Wilfred, we are going to cut straight to the chase. You have been tracking a lot of things here in Jamaica, and what you have just done in the latest of a series of, investigative piece is this one on how medical waste is disposed of here in Jamaica. Share with us and the listeners what basically piqued your interest in this, and how troubling this could be for us here in Jamaica.
Yes, indeed. I've been looking at various ministries and how they function, their responsibilities. I'm also looking at all the promises made and the promises unfulfilled. And while doing that, every now and again you come up with, actually more than every now and again, you come up with
Are you on speaker, Mr. Rattigan?
No, hold on.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Better, yes?
Yeah. As I was saying, I've been looking at various ministries, and I've come across various newsworthy items, things that the general public, to a large degree, doesn't really know about. And so I was looking at the Ministry of Health and Wellness for a variety of reasons, including the Conrod Regional Hospital and the overrun and the cost delays and the time that it's taking to get the operation up and running. Now, a source of mine, very capable, very reliable, well-placed source, advised me back in April that the furnaces, or the furnace that they use to dispose of biohazard waste, medical waste, including amputated body limbs, that the furnace or furnaces that they broke down, they're not functioning, and that the Jamaican government, instead of fixing the furnaces, and again, they're not being proactive because this shouldn't have happened. If it did, this is what the source is telling me, that it happened. I'm still checking it out, but that they're digging holes all across the island and they're burying these body parts and burying biohazard waste, medical waste all over the country. Now, we know Jamaica, it's mostly limestone, and we know that when you have a heavy downpour, these things they seep into the water table. So now you're talking about polluting the rivulets, the streams, the rivers.
Wow.
People depend.
Hold on there a sec from Mr. Rattigan. There are some of my listeners, a host of them, who are on TikTok. I'm seeing where this is going to shut down in a matter of a minute or so. So I'm going to have to restart, and then you come back up. So just to say that you can join me as soon as we join me back on the TikTok feed. But we're up on many other offering on the radio itself, on the Make We Talk YouTube channel, also, and Fit FM, and a number of other places. Go ahead, Mr. Rattigan. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So what happened after I got this information in April, I reached out to the ministry and I filed an ATI. And I asked them 5 questions. Please provide the number and locations of furnaces used by the government to burn medical waste, including body parts from the public hospital clinic facilities. Second one was, please provide the number of said furnaces that are operable. Third, please provide the number of said furnaces that are inoperable. Fourth, for the furnaces that are inoperable, please provide the periods of inoperability. And the last one was, if all furnaces are inoperable, please advise how the government is disposing of the medical waste, biohazard waste, including but not limited to body parts. Now, they didn't respond. So what I did last week, I sent something to the entire cabinet. And essentially, I'm saying to them that, listen, if you didn't know, now you know. This is what I've heard that's going on. And I need all of you to apply some pressure on the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopherson, and the ministry as well, to come up with some answers to my questions. Because if this is the case, that the furnaces are not working and they're burying body parts all over the island, then the public needs to know, and we need to issue some warnings to people who are using river streams, because this could be deadly. But, so they
no, complete thought.
So so they finally responded, and they said that they're undertaking the necessary research. In order
you receive a reply to your ATI. That's what you're saying?
Yes. After the second one, after I notified the entire cabinet, then I got a response from the Ministry of Health and Wellness saying that we're looking into it. Well, look, it's simply enough. You don't need to look into it. It either is or isn't.
Hold on, Mr. Rattigan. You're saying that you did an ATI, well, you did 2. The second one, the Ministry of Health respond to you for something as dangerous of basically this posing or disposing of medical waste, to include limbs that have been amputated, whatever, that could have various disease carrying there. They have responded to you to say, listen, they are looking into it. They were not able to provide you with an affirmative answer to say, no, there's no truth to it.
Absolutely correct.
But that is questionable. I think the Ministry of Health, because they listen, this is dangerous, Mr. Rattigan. The Ministry of Health needs to speak to this.
Indeed. And this question was posed to them back on April 28th. And today is the 19th of May. And so far, all I've gotten out of them is that we will undertake the necessary research in order to respond to your request. Now, this is catastrophic. This could be catastrophic, and this is something that if the furnaces aren't working, this is something that they should know right away. This is not something that you tell me, well, we're going to look into it and come back to you. No,
Mr. Rattigan, I'm sending out SOS for Dr. Tufton and operatives within the Ministry of Health. As a matter of fact, Marlon called me earlier, right? Marlon Morgan called me earlier and he raised something about ribbon cutting. Marlon, this is something that I would entertain your call, and because this is speaking to the health of Jamaica. Body parts is being disposed of in a less unhygienic way, against the background that we have major parts of our water table that are with limestone, and we know the seepage that can take place there. We have seen recently, Mr. Rattigan, where in Duns River, question asks about the water quality. We're in Kingston and St. Andrew, also with the drinking water as well, raised by councillor and microbiologist Jesse James Clark. Could these things that you're talking about contribute to any of the 2 things that are now in the public domain?
Could very well, and that's why we need answers, and we need answers forthwith. We need answers immediately. We don't need them to tell us that they're going to do research and come back to us, and then they don't come back to us. This is something that must be exposed, because this directly affects the health of our people, and not to mention, the fish in these rivers, and people depend on these rivers for their life and their livelihood. And here it is now that we have something as this, and we're just asking the question. You know, we're saying, look, we heard this too. And by the way, fireman, I've heard since the source told me this, I've heard from other people who are uniquely situated to render an opinion on this, that it's true, but I don't know if it's true. So that's why I'm asking them, please confirm or deny.
And let me also say in here that I don't know that it is true either, but what I'm saying is that the response from the ministry is troubling, to say the least, because this sounds as if there is a level of uncertainness there. Because if you have the furnace up and running and the medical waste is being disposed of properly, then what would you say that you're looking into? You should be able to respond to that ITA that you did in our affirmative to say, no, we are carrying out the necessary check. We are carrying out our job, rather, with aplomb. But what we are hearing now, Mr. Rattigan, is quite troubling. And we must commend you for basically sit down on these ATI, because you did one first, you did not get any response, and you did a second.
Right, and I think what happened, the second one, it went to the entire cabinet. So I think that kind of forced the issue a bit, and it was only then that the Ministry of Health and Wellness came back and said, okay, we're gonna do some investigations, and then we'll get back in touch with you. But you know, Conrad, this is typical, you know, of the Jamaican government. Typical. When you ask them about things that they promise or things that are happening that shouldn't happen, and you ask them about it, the response is, yes, we'll get back in touch with you. And in a lot of cases, they don't get back in touch with you.
But while we can understand some things, Ratty, you know, that you probably would need to check this and check there. And this one is something that is quite troubling. It speaks to the health of the population. It speaks to the health of the population. And again, while I'm not in a position to basically confirm or deny, but how long ago you say you're actually sending the last ATI, Mr. Rattigan?
The first one was April 28th, and the second one was May 13th, 6 days ago. And the same day that I sent it off to the cabinet, that was the same day the ministry responded.
I'm sure that my listeners must be quite taken aback with this, you know, with this.
But, you know, Conrad, you're absolutely correct about the severity and the significance of it, because if I'd ask and say, okay, tell me how much money you spend on the Cornwall Regional and how long it's been delayed and all that, and they say, well, we have to get back in touch with you because we have to go get the numbers, blah, blah. That's understandable. But when you talk about furnaces that you use to dispose of biohazard medical waste, and now we're hearing that they're digging holes and dumping these body parts and all kinds of medical waste in holes in the ground. And we know, especially now we're coming on to hurricane season, when you have runoffs and when we have heavy downpour and all of this, those things seep into the water table. And people are drinking water, people are swimming, people are catching fish, people are watching, people depend on these riverways, these waterways. And for the government to come and say,
hold on there, Mr. Rattigan. I have two persons who come up in the space. These are responsible people. Let me say if I'm able to take them. We have Pinks, and I think Abo is also there. Pinks, would you like to to respond to what Mr. Rattigan is talking about? Pinks? Hello? All right. I'm not hearing her. But go ahead, Mr. Rattigan, because this is very, very troubling. This is very troubling.
Yeah, it's troubling indeed, because this is something that should have been brought to the attention of the minister. So either the minister know, or he should have known about this, because this is a priority matter. This is not something that's just, you know, run of the mill. You're talking about the health and welfare, and then, you know, look at the second part of the ministries, the tag. It's Ministry of Health, but then it's also a ministry of wellness. And if we can protect the wellness of our people, if we can come out and fix these things, then it speaks to incompetence. You know, it speaks to a lack of transparency. It speaks to lack of good governance. And so, Jamaican people, you need to understand who's actually at the helm. People who are saying that they're misleading you. Because if it turns out to be true, this is a huge scandal, and them can't lie now, Conrad, because we have people in the ministry who tell with things, you know. Them can't lie.
This would be a scandal of monumental proportion.
Right. And remember now, one of the things we don't do around here, we don't ask questions unless we know the answer.
And we would prefer for this not to be so, but you know, we put it out there. And you know, Mr. Rattigan, when we highlight these things, it has nothing to do with political preference or anything. This is going to the heart of a society. This is going to the heart of a society. And I believe that the powers that be should really and truly look at this one. Look at this one. As I said earlier, that Marlon was on earlier, Senator Marlon Morgan. He called in. And I gave him some time to speak. People are saying that, boy, I shouldn't give him so much time. However, I gave him the time to speak. But I'm saying that this is something that I would love to hear Marlon on this morning. This whole business of medical waste being disposed of in a less than satisfactory way based on what we're getting.
Fireman,
yes?
I would have loved for you to encourage the editors, Senator Morgan, to come up on the program, reason with Rattigan, because we have some questions we want to really ask him, but he don't want to come. But you call in on your program and threaten to sue you. And again, I'll reiterate, Senator Editor Morgan, if you go ahead and if you're close your ears, sue Jeffrey Tavares and sue Fireman. Please sue them because it's going nowhere. But Conrad, there is so much. I'll tell you another thing too. That hear them come out and them say that the murder rate is down. People, my Jamaican people, now listen to me. They are lying to you. They're lying to you. There are 8 categories where they're pushing dead bodies into so that they don't have to account for them in the murder category. And we showed that on the program last week, Saturday. And we're going to show that on the program again this week, Saturday, Conrad. So this government, it must be held accountable. So, who's going to hold the government accountable? It's not just me and you, Conrad. It's the people who have to go and vote. They must go and vote.
Well, certainly election is coming up, and it's going to be interesting to see how the people deal with it. Let me take the final break and talk to you for about 5 minutes on the other side, Rattigan. I want to take on a couple of calls, all right? Hold for me, please.
This is Make We Talk Breaking News. We interrupt this program to bring a special item of news just in. We're being told that students from the University of Technology, UTech, are protesting as we speak over the death of a student. The students from the University of Technology is making their way down to Hero Circle also to join the nurses in what is going on as a huge protest, as the students led the protest over the death of one of their own. I heard the Minister of Gender, the Minister of Health, and others speaking about what is going on. And I think it's a little bit too late. But as the news coming into us, we're going to join by Conrad O'Brien and Wilfred Rattigan soon. Remember to join us this evening at 8 o'clock US time, 7 o'clock Jamaica time, when we'll be speaking about what is going on in Jamaica. My good friend Wilfred Rattigan will join us, and also one of our own students, Miss P, will be on the panel of guests as we dissect what is going on in Jamaica. We're trying to get through to Senator Lambert Brown to come onto the program. Hopefully we do get through to him. So that's the news that is coming into us. This is Make We Talk Breaking News.
And more shoe.
This is Make We Talk breaking news.
My guide is what I call the wholeness principles of accountability. 769. Because the wholeness principle of accountability was first demonstrated to me in 2013.
The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube and reggaeglobalradio.com, Saturdays at 3 p.m. New York time and at 2 p.m. in Jamaica. The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and its global supporters cordially invite Jamaicans abroad and abroad to its inaugural reconnection on June 21st, 2025 at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center in Kingston, Jamaica. Bring your entire family for a day of food, fun, entertainment, and information. Get an understanding of the Constitution and the skills necessary to exercise your rights and your civic responsibilities as Jamaican citizens. You can't afford to miss this inaugural Reconnection Rally, June 21st in Kingston. Tune in for further information and updates to Reason with Rattigan on YouTube.
Jamaica, vote power. Don't vote for Labour. They don't care about poor people. They make we suffer. Jamaica vote for power. Market we care. So we're voting today and we're voting forever. Jamaica vote power. Jamaica vote power.
Phone lines with the phone lines with our guest, this attorney at law Wilfred Rattigan. But there's things are coming in so thick and fast. We're getting a press release here from the People's National Party where Senator Lambert Brown is having some concern here, and he's saying that his opposition Senator Lambert Brown is sounding the alarm after the president of the Senate failed to table serious and urgent question about the drill. That's a drill that was purchased for $31 million, and it is said that it could be obtained for $10 million. We're going to have Senator Brown tomorrow morning here on the program at 10:10, where we'll be talking to him about this and some other things that he basically raised in the Senate there that he tabled. All right, let's get back to Mr. Rattigan. Mr. Rattigan, thanks for holding, sir. Let's see if we can wrap this quickly. So, Mr. Rattigan, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for holding. So now that, we have not gotten any fulsome information from the ministry, did they give you any time frame as to when you will get some further and better particulars?
No. They just simply said that they're going to look into it and then they'll get back in touch with me. That's it.
Wow.
And yeah. And in the meantime, if it's true, in the meantime, people are suffering because the waterways are being polluted if it's true that these body parts are buried all over the island.
You know,
very depressing, very troubling.
You know, the other day, you know, I received a call here on air where one of my callers said that, you know, about she was familiar with about 3 or 4 persons. I think it was Margaret who said it, who basically had major illness as a result of consuming the water in Kingston. So these are serious things we're talking about, and why we're putting this one out. And the reason I'm spending even additional time here with Mr. Rattigan and this, to me, this is quite serious. This is very, very serious and troubling. Again, I am not here saying that I am confirming this. But the fact that an ATI was sent to the Ministry of Health and the response, it wasn't in the affirmative that no, the furnace is up and we are disposing medical waste appropriately, then that is troubling. One remember some time ago, the argument came up about a large pile up of medical waste over there at the Spanish Town Hospital, you know. So I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Rattigan. In closing, what are you saying? In closing, Mr. Rattigan, make your closing comment, please.
What I'm saying is, Jamaican people, we're standing up for some things now. We're getting out in the streets and we're doing what we need to do, peacefully and legally. What we also need to do is this disposal or the lack thereof. We're not quite sure, but the question concerning the disposal of the biohazard medical waste is one that needs to be brought to the fore. Fore in the sense that we need to get answers from the ministry and the minister. And we cannot allow them to stonewall us and tell us, okay, we'll do the research and we'll get back to you, and then they never get back to us. This is of utmost importance to the Jamaican people. It should be paramount in importance as far as what the ministry is doing right now or not doing. They should be providing, like you said, information either in the affirmative to say...
The callers, Abu and other, they are calling on Marlon to come out, guys, always quick on the draw. So they are calling on him now to come to answer this question. As I said before, there are times when I don't think I need to entertain him, but since he's always there, I believe that the senator should give us a view, our opinion on this, or actually hastily call someone, he has contact, hastily call someone at the Ministry of Health to speak to us on this.
And should he find the time to call the Conrad, please ask him about the desalination plant. Desalination plant.
Look if it's the senator they're calling, Madam Producer. All right. Go ahead quickly, Ratty, as we wrap.
Yeah. Ask them about the desalination plant that they're going to upgrade and expand, and the ones that they plan to build on the coastline. And then also ask them about the true murder number. Ask him about that.
All right, Mr. Rattigan. Thanks a lot for joining us today. Always a pleasure. And continue to do the good work, sir, on behalf of the Jamaican people. You could sit in your rocking chair and so on and don't pay Jamaica any mind. But thanks a lot. Bless you. All right. Let's see if we can get a few in. The senator is on. Hello, Senator Morgan.
Morning, Obi.
Thanks a lot for calling in.
I want to say a couple of things. I'm a member of the public. This is a public radio station. I pick up my phone in respect of which I pay the bill. Yes, I pay the bill. And I call into this program. And so the truth is, although it is to your chagrin and to the chagrin of your PNP listeners, yes, that will not dissuade
hold on. You're not going to come and take over the program. Let me say that clearly. I limit you, like others, 5 minutes or so of call. Just now, when you were on, you had about 8 minutes. We had about 8 minutes to go, and we close out that with you. You sit in the chair here. You know that on the hour we go for a break. We were coming up to the break and we had to go. I couldn't carry you over. And I think we have exhausted the conversation there. However, let's move to the matter. Let's move to the matter. Hold up, Marlon, please. Allow me to put the question to you.
No, man, before we get to the question.
No, man. No. Hold on, Marlon. Hold on. Don't tell me what I do. I sit behind the microphone and I can editorialize as much as I want to. Which is the same thing you can do, which you have always done. All right? So let's move to important matters now. Mr. Rattigan, attorney at law, who is doing some serious investigative work within the media space, now transformed into a serious investigative journalist. He has been doing ATIs. The latest one is this one on the proper disposal of medical waste. He said that the communique that he received from the Ministry of Health is to say they will be checking on it. Do you see that, Marlon, as an appropriate answer?
Well, let me say this. The policy of the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party government is for medical waste and the biohazards to be disposed of in the prescribed and appropriate and designated manner. Yes? So that's my statement on that.
Oh, all right. Stay with me.
My brother, I'm not in an interrogation, you know.
No. Stay with me, Marlon. Stay with me, Marlon. Stay with me.
Let me just be very clear.
Yes.
Wilfred Rattigan, whatever post Peter Bunting may have.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there. Marlon, Madam Producer, I'm going to ask you to basically dismiss Marlon. Marlon, I am not going there with you. Marlon, we're talking about something that we're talking about something that impacting the health of the Jamaican people. The proper disposal of medical waste. The gentleman live in the United States. He doesn't have to do this, and I'm asking you if you see it appropriate. But Marlon, I'm almost at the end of the play. I'm almost at close of play. So we have to Madam Producer, let's finish with Marlon for today. Marlon, I can't continue anymore. All right, thanks. All right, let's close that chapter. See if we have a few callers who want to participate in the program. We have to be decent about some things and remove some things out of the orbit, the realm of politics. This is an important issue, and you intend to go to Peter Bunting and this. Let's stay with this. Again, I am not here saying that yes, it is confirmed, but the mere fact that it's raised and the ministry have not responding in the affirmative to say yes or no, they're checking on it. It raises question in my view. Hello, caller?
Conrad, where are you going with?
I am good, man. Talk to me quickly.
Take your time, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Take your time, Conrad. The race is not for the swift, you know. And who can endure it here?
Thank you.
Yes. So the things that go wrong, all them have to do is fix it, you know.
This is a concern to anyone.
All them have to do is fix it, Conrad.
No, but what we're saying, we're not even, here is it. Let's say there's nothing to fix. Why not respond? And this has been out there. But Africa are trying to take as many in this last section. So go ahead, you have a minute.
The state of emergency, something there.
Yes. All right, Africa. Let's let that stay until tomorrow, because we're going to discuss that. We will have much more time tomorrow. Let's see if we can take a few in the last part here.
It's good to be here.
All right, cool. Respect. We have 15 minutes to go. We're going to try and see if we can take as many. And I know that persons may be concerned about this last interview that we had. Hello, caller.
Yes, Conrad, morning. Fox here.
Yes, Fox. How you do?
Well, me there I give thanks for begging. Me can't understand how Rocket got on them and they complete room and groom for the country.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Hold on. Facts.
Yes,
don't do that. Don't do that. You're a Jamaican, first of all. This is something that you should commend Mr. Rattigan on?
No, but I'm not sure, Conrad.
But that is the point. We're not saying that we're sure. But what I'm saying is that, do you find the response that have been given a few weeks ago, because when he said he got that response from the second communique, do you find that to be satisfactory? Facts you could agree until you're fool.
No, man. Listen, man. Isaiah said, come let us reason, Conrad.
You always come with that. Every time you come with that, but you know reason well.
Yeah, because we have to settle the matter, remember, I'm not sure. But you give the country an impression as if, oh God, things is worse and bad in the country.
No, not at all. The question is being asked. It put out there to say, remember, Mr. Rattigan did the heavy lifting. He went through the process and he filed an ATI. They respond to him very terse to say that, listen, they will do some check. They'll check at it. They have not responded for some time. Do you find that? Hold on. Remember now, this is not a question. This is not a question like your call.
Not a politics thing,
hold on, my brother. Hold on. Yes. This is not. Let's bear in mind. This is not like you're calling me here to ask a question just like that. This is a situation where the communique would be with the Ministry of Health, and they would have ample time to check before they respond to the ATI. And for them to respond now to say, listen, they will check, it is inappropriate.
They must be checked, Conrad. They must be checked and find out.
As I say, I want to take a couple more, so you have a minute, my friend. Go ahead.
Yes, man. The next thing too, I want to ask the PNP. They find around preaching doom and gloom and a country that they want to cover and bridging.
All right, let's pick up on that tomorrow, Fox. We have a lot of people who try getting. Tomorrow have more time to speak. All right. All right. We're trying to cut through the chase and move as quickly as possible. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, country.
Morning.
Go ahead. Move quickly from your country.
Yeah, just two questions, man. Damian Crawford was in Lloyd at Real Division yesterday, I understand. And the Jamaica Labour Party is now abusive to journalists. And you can see it coming from all. And I tell you the other day that.
Hold on, you said Damian was what?
Up in Lloyd as Real Division there yesterday. Yeah, so pick up Mr. Damian Crawford.
Good.
On the team. And Marlon Morgan now. He's so abusive and aggressive to journalists. Yeah. And I just want to ask this question before I go.
Quickly.
Did Marlon Morgan ask the country to wear blue this morning for the nurse?
All right, country. Thanks. Leave it there. Let's see if we can get a few more in. All right. So, caller. Hello, caller.
Brian.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hello, morning.
Yes, sir. In politics now.
Yes, Milton.
Oh, yeah. This was it was last Thursday. Mr. Marlon and myself were conversing about that Clarendon, what do we call it, parish council. And I was telling him that they hack and not being followed. Because the Multiple Corporation Act, when there's a tie, the popular vote, the party that got more popular vote should form the mayorship.
We have ventilated that ad nauseum, and certainly it speaks to that at the term after a national local government election. Once a mayor is sworn in, there is a different thing. And I have been saying from day one that it was foolish for Sean Barneswell et al. To basically go that route to try to get the control of the Clarendon Parish Council, because they would not succeed and they have done the right thing of to basically probably take my advice and on the grounds of legal consultation and leave it alone. It's a no-brainer. All right, have to leave you there.
Why you say that? Why you say that?
No, I have to leave you there. We talk about that tomorrow. Have a lot to. I want to get in as many. So tomorrow we pick up on that, Milton. All right. We must. You see, this is the honesty that I bring to the program. I'm not going to sit down here and behave like I'm an idiot. There's no way no way that the PNP could get the mayoral control over there in Clarendon, because what it is a convention. And they have no status in law to get it. And the JLPs was never going to move. So why wasting time? Hello, caller?
Morning, Conrad.
Morning, Al.
Boy, by your heart.
No, man, I'm good, man. I'm very good. I'm calm. I'm cool as cucumber.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
Yes.
And you and I have always been saying that the ground for dictatorial leadership in this country is laid. The wicket is ruled. You can't see nothing and say nothing. Right? Nothing wrong if you drink a little filth.
You will still listen to you know one of the things that pulled me to Mutty Perkins as a boy. One of the things that pulled me to Mutty in my earlier years, because I heard Mutty when Mutty was defending a point, he was on top of it and he was quite vociferous and get a little bit edgy, if you may. And my friend, the late Faye Heavens down there in Manchester, usually said to me when I was at Hot 102, boy, Conrad, you remind me of Mr. Perkins, like you come to replace him. So I'm not equating myself, I'm just saying. So I am very, very cool, calm, and collective, even when my voice come across a little edgy.
Yeah. What I'm saying, Jesse Clark came out and advised us. Then cause him. No, you can't see nothing that is wrong. So everybody who comes out and finds something wrong, you're against the government, like you want to name Fox. Right? Well, let me just tell Fox. Maybe if the PNP is preaching doom and gloom, I want your former leaders and your present leader have taught us. So we just continue. Because then go to America and tell them tourists now come to Jamaica, Michael, a communist. You will find out who do that Fox. You then go and say how Jamaica have gangs. No gang reach them, right? And then God and Jamaica.
Abo is asking the question, why are we mixing politics with health? Because this is a health question.
Right. No, the gentleman has gone out of his way in the interest of the Jamaican people to find out if there is any truth in what information he has gotten. And he went as far as the cabinet and the ministry and hear these little uneducated people who can spit further than them nose.
No, I'm not going to ascribe no uneducated or whatever.
Uneducated people who can spit further than them nose and right on the line. Coming out to abuse people who have intelligence and have served this country and served the nation.
Oh, sorry, it's Dino who asked that. Yes.
It hurt me because guess what? You and I will talk about health.
I'm going to cut you now. I'm going to cut you this morning. I have to take one more. Let's take another one. Let's take another one before we go. Tomorrow we conclude. All right. Let's take one more before we go. We're trying to share the line with everybody. Hello, caller. Caller.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Marsh. Quickly.
Yes, when Mr. Owens, you see, did politicize crime and him politicize health. Somebody asked him why he politicized them. Mr. Owens' response, it's a political issue.
I remember it. And we're not politicizing this. We're asking the question.
Exactly. And let me tell you, when it comes to disposal of medical waste, you see, you know what me know about that.
Absolutely, I know that very well. I know you work in the system.
Me know about that. And let me tell you something. And it's something that we have to go and check about. You hear? That is right. A man said to you, so where your name? Me not think you're going to check where your name. You know your name, Conrad O'Brien. Things like that, straight after that, you know, say, no, the truck come take up this, go into the sterilizer and dispose and whatever about the done.
And that is why it raised an eyebrow for me, from me, fast. For me, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
so
Marsh.
yes, so when facts not much sense. I mean, understand it. Leave facts alone. Facts not no sense.
You know, I don't speak in those terms. That's your word. Those are your words.
No, but listen, facts might have dollars, but him not have any sense. There you go. Tell him.
All right. Take care. We have some more time tomorrow. Okay, so that's it, Madam Producer. We have one more? Okay. All right. If we get one quick one, we probably can take it. But this morning, the end of the program here has been quite active, and indeed the phone line continued to blaze. I hope nobody vexed with me, because I really just wanted to give everybody just a little say this morning, because of course you know that we spent quite a bit of time on the program with the interviews with Christopher Henry, attorney at law, and indeed Wilfred Rattigan, attorney at law as well, to basically ventilate some issues there that are quite germane and important to the body politics and to the running of Jamaica generally. So just understand that. And we are offering our condolences to the UTech student that her body was found over there in Portmore. Very, very sad situation there. Too many of these things are happening, too many of these things are happening. So we are offering our condolences, and indeed we share our solidarity with the protesters who out there protesting against the beating of the health worker. We gather that the Minister of Health and his counterpart, opposition spokesperson Health, they were both out there supporting the protest this morning. And indeed, we gather that down there in Manchester as well, people are out there protesting. They have basically served notice from sometime last week that they will be doing this. We also understand, of course, the university nurses, and indeed down there in Western Jamaica, the Cornwall Regional has as well. And people are really raising the alarm and sounding off on this one. So let me say thanks to all of you who share with us today on the program. Say thanks to Fit FM, Caribbean Vibe Radio, the Wayne Hall Network, and indeed the Make We Talk YouTube tube. All of you who joined us on the Conrod OB TikTok page. On behalf of my producer, Tanya Richards, thanks to all the callers and everyone who made the program a success. Until tomorrow, may God bless you all.
There you have it. That was Conrad O'Brien there from News Talk on 93 FM, bringing us his talk program. He was speaking with Wilfred Rattigan, and of course, Marlon Morgan is there chatting nonsense as usual. Let me say this to Mr. Morgan, that Mr. Rattigan was never promised any seat by Senator Peter Bunty that the People's National Party should gain state power. And Marlon Morgan must stop this nonsense. Mr. Rattigan do not want to be a part of any political party in Jamaica. What Mr. Rattigan wants to see is his fellow Jamaicans, those who grew up with him down by Waterhouse, those who have eaten tin mackerel and dumpling with him, or butter and dumpling alone. Those are the people he's fighting for. And if Marlon Morgan can't get it in his thick skull, then I would advise him to go and see a psychiatrist. Because there's something fundamentally wrong with his cabeza. Okay? Join us this evening at 7 p.m. Jamaica time, 8 p.m. US time. My special guest will be Senator Lambert Brown. My co-hosts are Wilfred Rattigan, and we're going to speak to Miss P, one of our students. We're going to speak to Senator Lambert Brown about the recent beating of a nurse and also the drill, the medical drill that was bought for how much million Jamaican dollars by the Minister of Health. We're going to speak about that tonight. So until then, may God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Join us this evening for the live, robust discussion. God bless you. May God bless our island home on the Caribbean. Good afternoon, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough. Make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.
This is Make We Talk breaking news.